Welcome to the Teacher's Guide to Best Tiered Instruction. We're looking at second grade benchmark NSO 2.4, which involves the exploration of addition and subtraction within 1,000. It's important to note in this benchmark, the word explore means that students will need a lot of manipulative use and representation. In this benchmark, students are required to now add and subtract 3-digit numbers as well as 2-digit numbers. Keep in mind that students can also subtract and add up to 3 numbers together, and that the minuend could be 1,000, in which they have to subtract a septuagint. Using some different colored chips for a tiered instructional support, reinforce that when we are adding, those two add-ins represent the parts and that we are trying to make the whole. Also, going over commutative property of addition will be beneficial in this benchmark. Using a place value chart and base 10 blocks allows students to build the numbers so that they can practice decomposing into expanded forms. I've also added some labels so that the digits are represented by a value. Then we look at breaking apart the second add-in into its proper place value parts on the table. As students start to manipulate and add the blocks together, they should be able to compose their answer, keeping in mind that we want to make sure there's a digit in each place value. By using base 10 blocks, this also allows you to review the idea of regrouping or exchanging when students can make a 10 or the next place value. Notice how I still write the expanded form and alter it as the movement of the blocks changes. The same can be said for regrouping when I have enough tens to regroup to the hundreds place. The use of place value discs would also help those next level students with the idea of regrouping on a smaller scale, keeping in mind that the place value helps with the digits in standard form. As we get into subtraction, sometimes students like to apply the commutative property. So begin by reminding them in subtraction, we start with the whole, and our job is to take away a part to figure out the other part. In subtraction, we cannot just swap the numbers and get the same answer. However, I can swap the parts and still come up with the same answer, but the minuend cannot change. I keep the markers at the bottom to remind students visually that the one with red cannot move. It is the amount that we start with or the amount that we currently have. Allowing students to decompose that number and physically start taking away helps to see if they need to regroup or exchange for place values where they may not have enough to take away. Hopefully, the use of these strategies and manipulatives will help your students grasp the understanding of addition and subtraction, especially when it comes to the regrouping or exchanging between place values. While exploring this benchmark, you can also have students rewrite subtraction problems as addition problems with missing add-ins because that was a skill that they learned in previous grade levels. You may also use estimation or rounding to help with the reasonableness of answers that students may come to. Remember that the expectation of this benchmark is not just to be able to vertically add or subtract. Students really need to have a number sense of what happens when we regroup or need to exchange.